It starts with you coming into proper alignment with your own nature, and then the people around you will respond to that. Hello and welcome to Faithfully Feminine. My name is Talia and I'm so glad you're here. At this channel, we talk about faith and femininity, polarity, relationships, and wellness. Today, we're going to be talking about how we can find and attract the love of our lives by understanding polarity, masculine and feminine dynamics. Now, this is just a brief overview, and I'm planning to make a lot more videos to do deep dives into this, but this is for someone who really wants to understand how masculine and feminine really mesh well together and how we can make sure we're aligned with our feminine nature or our masculine nature. And then when we are able to be aligned, we attract the opposite into our lives. So this video is actually for the ladies and the gentlemen, as I will be talking about masculine energy as well as feminine energy. Let's get straight into it. Now, when I was in my early 20s, I subscribed to the society's conditioning that women needed to be ambitious, hardworking, doers, goers, pretty masculine in the world. I worked my way up in my career, I had hobbies, I was really fit, and I actually saw myself as a competition to a man. The way that I viewed men was so warped, and that really impacted my relationships with them. And I'm sure that if you're watching this, you can agree. Relationships between men and women are so warped at the moment. We have feminine men and we have masculine women. And this is creating a really funky polarity. There's a lot of things impacting that. It's conditioning from movies, TV, and culture, the birth control pill, which really messes with women's hormones. There's multiple aspects of this. And I'm going to dive into how we can shift ourselves back into our rightful place. Because when I did this, I met my husband 6 months later, a year and a half later, we are now married. I realized that this hard work and living this masculine life of like doing and going and being a go-getter, being a strong independent woman, not needing a man, left me so unfulfilled, and my dating life was just so frustrating. So let's talk about what feminine and masculine is. I believe it's like an energy. Some people believe it's different, but I think that you can be in your masculine energy and you can be in your feminine energy. And when you're in your masculine energy, you attract feminine. And when you're in your feminine energy, you attract masculine, romantically, of course. So a woman like me when I was in my early 20s, who is constantly going, constantly doing, burning out, trying to compete, the men that I invited into my life that I was going on dates with that ended up forming into something a bit more were always quite feminine. And I just felt so frustrated because I didn't feel like that they were really taking charge and taking care of me. I felt like I was always in control, and ultimately that didn't feel right in myself. And then it's the same with men who are in their feminine in areas. And you can be a little like masculine in some areas and then feminine in others. So it's not a one or another thing. So we're going to identify what the main essence of masculinity is and what the main essence of femininity is. And then I'm going to let you guys reflect which areas am I in the wrong column and how can I change that? Let's get going. Masculine, they are the givers, okay? They give, they provide. It gives them a sense of purpose and it makes them feel good. The feminine on the other side of that are the receivers. Receiving feels good. It feels great to sit back and be given things. Now, a woman who is constantly giving is going to feel depleted. A man who is constantly receiving is going to feel stagnant and lethargic. The masculine does. They are doers, they are doing. They are always moving. They are hunting, they are going for it, they are providing, they are moving their bodies. Women are being, the idea that we just exist and enjoy this state of frolicking and of existing. It doesn't mean that we are lazy and just sit on the couch and do nothing, but the feminine thrives when there's not a whole heap of pressure or goals or like, you must do this, this, and this. When I'm at home and I have nothing to do, I get like a lot done, but it's from a state of being. It's like coming from inside me, this creativity, wanting to film videos or bake bread or play something on my ukulele. It comes from a state of just existing, whereas men, they need that actual action to feel good and to continue doing good. Masculine energy is linear energy, so that is like one direction, one focus, single focus. We all know men can't multitask because it's literally part of their brains that they are so focused when they're hunting that they can see their prey and nothing else is distracting them. So they're singular focused, logical, straight down the road. Women, we are diverse awareness. I'm linking this all back to caveman times because that's our biology. It's where it comes from. But if we are harvesting berries in the wood, we need to be aware of danger for our babies and just for our own general safety. So our awareness is not just on picking the berries, it's on what's going on over there. I hear a rustle, I do this, blah, blah, blah. I need to cook this, I need to do that. So we can think of multiple things at a time, which is good. So that's like a little bit of like the chaotic awareness nature of the feminine. Men are logical, 1 + 1 = 2, doesn't need to be emotional. The feminine is emotional, creative, and sensual. So we can both be looking at an issue and a man will just be like, yep, this is an easy solution. And the woman will be like, no, there's so much wrapped up in it. And we look at things through emotion when we're in our feminine. Of course, we can both do either side if you're out of alignment, but the feminine nature is that emotional, sensory, processing things through her body rather than through her mind. And then the masculine is processing through his mind, not through his body. The masculine likes to bring his body into submission with his mind, and then the feminine brings her mind into submission with her body. We work so well together. It's really beautiful. And then we have a big picture to close it off, and I use this with my husband all the time. We've found it a really useful metaphor, is that the masculine is like a mountain or an island, and then the feminine is the ocean. So the masculine is strong, sturdy, structured, straightforward, a bit stubborn, to be honest. And then the feminine is chaotic. You just never know what you're going to get. It might be calm, might be crashing waves, might be stormy. Underneath the calm, there's so many thoughts and emotions, so much depth, so much wisdom. And so the two together work so beautifully because the mountain ends up being a stabilizing force for the ocean, making her feel safe, making her feel calm. And then the woman can also kind of shape the rough edges of the mountain that can like soften a man and help him see things from different perspectives. Another metaphor I like, and I think Teal Swan shared this, was that a man is like a container for a woman. Or the masculine is a container for a woman. She feels safe to be her chaotic self, but he is structure, he is sturdy, he's looking after her, he's giving her everything that she needs. All right, so now that we have gone through what feminine masculine is, we can now identify where we are out of alignment in our dating life and in our general life. Before I go on to the next thing, I really want to highlight that when it comes to relationships, it's all your responsibility. Okay, so if you're coming into this blaming and like listening to this and being like, oh yeah, that girl that I'm with, she's so masculine, she's not blah, blah, blah. I need you to switch your headspace to complete self-reflection. This is about you. If you can reflect masculine or feminine, depending if you're a man or a woman, your external circumstances and the people in your life will reflect that back to you. So you cannot be blaming everybody else that they're not in alignment. It actually starts with you. It starts with you coming into proper alignment with your own nature, and then the people around you will respond to that. So if a man was to shift his behavior out of being and start doing and providing and being more generous and a giver, the woman in his life will then feel safer to receive and will soften and kind of maybe let go of a bit of control. Same goes the other way. It is the woman's job, it's your job. Okay, I'm working too hard, I'm taking control, I'm not letting my man be masculine, I'm not giving him space. If you pull yourself back into alignment, he will respond to that and he will step into that role. So it is your responsibility to do this. It's your responsibility to reflect on your own behavior. So men, having a look at the feminine traits and the masculine traits. They're going to be in the description below so you can reflect a little bit more. Where do you think, or what part of masculine or feminine are you feeling out of balance, and what can you do to fix it? An example would probably be that you are watching video games or movies. So that's kind of in a being state. You're not really doing anything. You're just sitting around doing nothing. And that stops you from being productive and providing. So how can we shift that? Okay, well, maybe I'll just like limit video games to a certain amount and go to the gym. And then you're doing a little bit more. And then maybe watch half the amount of TV and then go and research into stocks and do some investing or something like that. Women, reflect. Where am I pushing too hard? Where am I stifling and trying to be too competitive in relationships? Am I putting all of my worth into the work that I do? So I'm not saying don't work, but maybe carving out time to be. So you're doing all day, you're working in your corporate job or whatever. I'm going to stop and I'm going to be and exist and have a bath for an hour a day. And that connects you back into your feminine nature. Having a bath for an hour in a day, that will open up emotions. It will help you to process things. It will help you be creative. It's all flow on. If you just start making little tweaks in your life to align yourself a little bit more with what your nature is, you'll notice a really big difference. Please watch a couple of my other videos, ladies in particular, because they are for ladies, about shifting your perspective of men from that of being competitive with them or expecting, like having high expectations, like they need to do this, and they need to do this, they need to do this, and shift into a perspective of men are so good and they provide for me and they love me, and that will open up your heart to receive a lot more. So that's how you become a receiver, when you start viewing everything around you as a giver. But I have lots of videos on that, so I'm not going to keep on talking about it because you can go and have a flick through. I hope this helps. It is just a general overview. I will continue to put videos out that talk more in depth about this. If you have any specific questions or anything you want me to dive deeper into or explain more, please comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. If you like the video, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.